10 Buddhist Secrets for Peace. Introduction: The quiet we all crave. Let me ask you something. When was the last time you truly felt at peace? I mean real peace, not the fake calm you try to project. When everything inside you is chaos, not the short relief after finishing a long to-do list, but that still, silent, sacred kind of peace. The kind where your heart isn't racing, your mind isn't looping, and you're not silently preparing for the next disaster. Hard to remember, right? It's not your fault. The world today isn't built for peace. It's built for noise, speed, notifications, deadlines, comparisons, and the constant sense that you're behind, even when you're doing everything right. But you know what's wild? Thousands of years ago, before Wi-Fi or smartphones, before rush hours and retirement funds, people still struggled with restlessness. Anxiety isn't new. Overthinking isn't modern. Even in ancient India, people were trying to find some kind of inner stillness. That's where Buddhism enters the conversation, not as a religion full of strict rules or abstract philosophy, but as a quiet path. A path back to the peace you forgot was yours. Buddhist teachings are like whispered secrets, simple truths passed down quietly from teacher to student, from heart to heart. And if you really listen, not just with your ears but with your life, they change you. Gently, permanently. This isn't about becoming a monk. You don't have to shave your head or move to the Himalayas. You just have to get still enough to hear what's already inside you. Let's start with the first secret, and maybe, just maybe, the silence will begin to speak. Secret 1. The power of not reacting. Imagine this. A monk is walking through a village. A man steps out from the crowd, points at him, and begins shouting insults. "You're a fraud, a beggar in robes, worthless." The monk doesn't flinch, doesn't scowl, doesn't even respond. He keeps walking, calm, quiet, unbothered. Later, someone asks him, "Why didn't you say anything? Aren't you angry?" The monk replies, "If someone offers you a gift and you refuse to accept it, who does it belong to?" Boom. Let that sit for a second. We live in a world where everyone is reacting to everything. One tweet, one email, one offhand comment, and boom, you're spiraling. We give away our peace to every little thing that pokes us. But here's the thing. Peace begins the moment you stop handing your emotions to strangers. In Buddhism, this practice is called upekkha, equanimity. It's the art of not getting pulled in, not because you're cold, not because you're better than anyone, but because you've seen the cost of reactivity and you're done paying it. Every time you react out of anger or defensiveness or pride, you hand someone else the keys to your peace. And guess what? Most of the time, they don't even want that power. You're giving it away for free. Think of your mind like a still pond. Every reaction, a stone tossed in. Sometimes not reacting isn't weakness, it's wisdom. It's recognizing that not every opinion deserves your energy. Not every fire needs your wood. Not every insult deserves an audience. Want more peace? Try this. Pause before you speak. Breathe before you hit send. Ask, does this really matter 5 years from now? Most of it won't. And when you learn to stop reacting, you don't just protect your peace, you radiate it. People feel it. They may not say it, but they'll notice something about you feels untouchable. And that's power. Let's move on to the second secret. Secret 2. Craving is the thief of peace. We're always chasing something, aren't we? More money, a better job, the perfect partner, a thinner body, a faster phone, a quieter house, a different life. And then what? We get it and immediately start craving the next thing. Buddha called this tanha, thirst, craving, the endless hunger that never really gets full. We live in a dopamine-driven culture. Your brain is constantly being fed tiny hits of almost happiness. Scroll a little more, shop a little more, eat a little more, flirt a little more. And maybe you'll feel better. Maybe you'll feel enough. But here's the catch. Craving peace is the surest way to lose it. You think peace is on the other side of achievement, but it's not. You think peace is when the bank account is high enough, the kids are quiet enough, the house is clean enough, but it's not. Peace is what's left when craving stops screaming. Let me tell you a little story from a retreat center in northern Thailand. A man came to the monk, desperate to feel calm. He said, "I've done everything. I meditate, I fast, I give to charity, but I still feel restless. Why?" The monk smiled and handed him a cup of water. "Stir it," he said. The man stirred. "Now stop stirring." The man stopped. "Now wait." And slowly the dirt settled. The water cleared. "You keep stirring," the monk said. "Peace was always there. You just didn't stop long enough to see it." That story lives in me, because honestly, we're all stirring the cup every day. Want peace? Stop stirring. You don't have to become a minimalist. You don't have to give up your job or sell your stuff. But you do have to stop feeding the craving machine. Here's how. Practice mudita, finding joy in others' success. Instead of comparing, sit with discomfort. Instead of reaching for a fix. Say enough out loud when your brain says more. Craving whispers, lies. Peace tells the truth. You already have enough to be calm right now. The real question is, can you sit still long enough to notice? Next secret coming up. This one is hard but beautiful. Secret 3. Letting go is a muscle, not a moment. Let's be real. Letting go sounds poetic in books. It looks beautiful on Instagram, paired with a mountain sunset or falling leaves. But in real life, it feels like death. Letting go of a grudge, a dream, a person, an identity. It feels like a ripping, a loss, sometimes like betrayal. And yet, letting go is the path to peace. Always. The thing is, we think of letting go as one dramatic moment, like boom, you're healed, you're over it, you're free. But that's not how it works. Letting go isn't a decision. It's a practice, a muscle. In Buddhist practice, the concept of non-attachment isn't about apathy. It's not about not loving people or not caring about things. It's about loosening your grip, just enough to breathe. There's a story of a man trapped in a burning house. He's surrounded by flames, but he won't leave. "Why?" people shout. "My furniture, my photo albums, my favorite rug." He clings to the life he knows and loses his life. That's us, isn't it? We're holding on to the past, even when it burns, clinging to what's familiar, even when it hurts. Peace begins when you stop clutching at things already gone. Letting go sounds scary because we think it means loss, but it often means space, newness, air. You don't have to throw everything away. Start small. Let go of needing to win the argument. Let go of replaying that one conversation. Let go of the version of yourself you thought you should be by now. Letting go doesn't mean you don't care. It means you care enough to move forward. That's where peace lives, not behind you, but in what you're willing to release. Secret 4. Stillness is not laziness. Let's talk about something we've all felt but rarely admit. Guilt. The guilt of doing nothing. You know the drill. You finally get a free afternoon. No deadlines, no obligations, just you and stillness. And what happens? You feel bad about it, like you should be cleaning or producing, or at least replying to those 17 unread texts. We've been conditioned to equate movement with value. Stillness? That must mean you're lazy, right? Wrong. Buddhist monks spend hours a day in stillness. They sit in silence. They walk slowly. They breathe and listen. Not because they have nothing to do, but because they understand something we've forgotten. Stillness is where life speaks. It's where clarity shows up. It's where truth bubbles up. It's where you remember who you are without all the noise. Stillness doesn't mean doing nothing. It means doing the one thing most people are too busy to do. Pay attention. Here's the twist, though. Stillness is hard. It's easy to binge another series or scroll mindlessly. That's numbness, not stillness. Stillness means facing what's inside. And let's be honest, that's scary, but it's also liberating. You'll be shocked at how much peace is hiding behind the chaos when you finally pause. You don't need a meditation cushion or a mountain retreat. You just need a moment. Try this. Sit outside and just watch the sky for 5 minutes. Eat a meal without your phone, music, or distractions. Take a slow walk and notice how your feet touch the ground. You'll notice something weird. The world keeps spinning, and you don't feel behind. You feel aligned. You don't have to earn stillness. You just have to allow it. Secret 5. You are not your thoughts. This one might change your life. Ready? You are not your thoughts. Seriously, you're not. That voice in your head, the one that worries constantly, that criticizes everything you do, that replays old arguments or imagines worst-case scenarios, that's not you. That's your mind doing what it was trained to do. Try to protect you, warn you, prepare you, control you. But you don't have to believe everything it says. Buddhism teaches a practice called vipassana. It means clear seeing. It's the art of watching your thoughts, like clouds passing in the sky. You don't chase them, you don't wrestle them, you just watch. Here's what happens when you do that consistently. Thoughts lose their grip. They become background noise. They stop being you and start being weather. And you become the sky. Let me explain it like this. Imagine sitting on a bench at a train station. Trains, thoughts, come and go. Some are loud, some are old, some are tempting, but you don't have to get on any of them. You just sit and observe. The more you practice this, the more peace you find. Here's a little exercise. Close your eyes for 30 seconds. Notice your thoughts without judging them. Say silently, "I'm noticing a thought about," and fill in the blank. That's it. That's the beginning of freedom. You don't need to stop thinking. You just need to stop being your thoughts. The moment you do that, you reclaim your peace. Because peace isn't the absence of thoughts. It's the absence of believing all of them. Secret 6. Compassion is a peace multiplier. Here's something strange but true. The more love you give away, the more peace you feel inside. Counterintuitive, right? We're taught to protect our hearts, to guard our energy, to hold back until it's safe. But Buddhist wisdom says, love more, not less, especially when it's hard. There's a meditation called metta, loving kindness. You start by sending goodwill to yourself, then to someone you love, then to a stranger, then to someone you struggle with. At first, it feels weird, robotic, maybe even fake. But something happens over time. Your heart softens, your grudges shrink, your inner tension dissolves, not because the other person changed, but because you did. You can't carry hate and expect to feel peaceful. It doesn't work like that. There's a story of a monk who was brutally imprisoned for years. After he was released, someone asked, "What was the hardest part?" The monk replied, "There were times I nearly lost compassion for my captors." Let that sink in. The real battle wasn't physical, it was internal, and he knew if he lost compassion, he lost everything. You don't have to be a saint, just start small. Practice metta each morning, just 2 minutes. Replace criticism with curiosity in a hard conversation. Wish well silently to someone who annoys you. This doesn't make you weak, it makes you weightless. Compassion clears the debris from your heart. And once that happens, peace flows in fast and deep. Secret 7. Simplicity is a superpower. Here's a secret monks have known for centuries. Less noise means more clarity. The less you own, the less owns you. You don't need 30 pairs of jeans, 5 subscriptions, and 3 apps telling you how to live your best life. You need space and breath, and fewer decisions stealing your peace. In Buddhist monasteries, monks often have just a bowl, a robe, and maybe 1 or 2 personal items. Not because it's trendy, but because it's freeing. You know what simplicity really gives you? Focus. You're not spending all day managing stuff, maintaining stuff, buying more stuff, or worrying about losing stuff. Your energy comes back home. Look around your life. How many things are you holding on to just in case? How many tabs are open on your browser and your mind? How often do you say yes when your whole body says no? Simplicity doesn't mean living like a monk, but it does mean asking, is this helping or draining me? Start with small shifts. Unsubscribe from one newsletter that clutters your inbox, clean one drawer, and throw out what you haven't touched in a year. Say no without guilt at least once this week. Each time you simplify, you get a little piece of yourself back. And peace? It lives in that space. The space between distractions. Secret 8. Death awareness makes life peaceful. Most people hear the word death and immediately shut down. Too dark, too heavy, too morbid. But here's the Buddhist twist. Thinking about death regularly actually makes you more alive, more peaceful, more grounded, more present. It's called Maranasati, mindfulness of death. And it's not about being gloomy, it's about being real. See, we live like we have forever. We delay forgiveness. We postpone joy. We wait for the perfect moment to live fully, like peace is something we'll download in retirement. But the truth is, you don't know how many days you've got left. Neither do I. Buddhist monks reflect on this constantly. Some even meditate in graveyards. Not to be creepy, but to remember everything is temporary. That argument you're still holding? Temporary. That job title you stress about? Temporary. Even your biggest heartbreak? You guessed it, temporary. Knowing this doesn't make life sad. It makes life sacred. There's a powerful story of a woman whose child died suddenly. She was destroyed with grief and went to the Buddha begging for help. He told her to go to every house in the village and collect a mustard seed from a family that had never known death. She returned with none. It was then she realized, loss is not personal, it's universal. We don't get peace by denying death. We find peace by befriending it. Because when you live like you could die any moment, you also start living like every moment matters. You speak more gently, you forgive more easily, you notice small joys that once passed you by. So here's your practice. Each morning whisper to yourself, I may die today. Not with fear, with reverence. Ask yourself, if this were my last day, would this be worth my energy? Death awareness isn't depressing, it's clarifying. And peace? It comes when you stop waiting for life to begin. Secret 9. Solitude isn't loneliness. Somewhere along the line, we started confusing being alone with being lonely. But let me tell you something that monks know deep in their bones. Solitude is sacred. It's not punishment, it's a portal. When you're alone, not scrolling, not distracting, not numbing, something starts to emerge. You, not the you others expect. Not the version shaped by social media, career demands, or old family roles. Just you. Quiet. Raw. Whole. Buddhism encourages solitude not to isolate people, but to reintroduce them to themselves. In fact, many monks go on silent retreats. No talking, no texting, no eye contact, for days, sometimes weeks. Why? Because silence shows you where the real noise lives. And spoiler alert, it's not outside you, it's inside. Let me tell you a quick story. A man once approached a Zen master and said, I'm so restless, I feel lost, I need to find myself. The master said, go to the mountains, sit by yourself, don't speak, listen to the trees. He did. He came back months later, softer, still unsure about his career, his future, but utterly clear about his inner peace. Why? Because solitude gives you space to stop pretending. Look, I get it. Alone time can feel uncomfortable. You suddenly notice every ache, every mental loop, every buried fear. But stay with it. That discomfort is the doorway to peace. Start small. Take a walk without music or podcasts. Turn off your phone for an hour. Eat a meal in silence and just feel it all. Solitude isn't the absence of love. It's the beginning of self-love. And that, my friend, is a peace no one can take from you. Secret 10. The present moment is the only safe place. Let's end with this, the heartbeat of every Buddhist teaching. Peace doesn't live in the past. Peace doesn't live in the future. Peace only ever lives in the present. You've probably heard this before, right? Be here now. Live in the moment. All we have is the present. But what does that really mean? It means this. Your regrets, they live in the past. Your worries, they live in the future. Your life, it only exists in this breath, right now, not a metaphor, literally. Buddhism teaches mindfulness, sati, as a constant returning, not a one-time thing, not something you master, a moment-by-moment choice to come home to now. And here's the wild part. Now is always safe, even if you're struggling, even if life feels chaotic, even if you're in pain. Right now, this exact moment is usually bearable. Most suffering doesn't come from what's happening. It comes from your thoughts about what might happen. The cure? Presence. And you don't need hours of meditation to find it. Try this. When washing your hands, only wash your hands. Feel the water, smell the soap. When talking to someone, really see them, not just with your eyes, with your heart. When breathing, just breathe. One inhale, one exhale. That's peace. You'll notice something unexpected. Life slows down. Time expands. Your mind softens. And suddenly, everything feels okay, even if nothing changed. That's the secret. Peace isn't a destination. It's a choice, a return, a remembering. And it's always, always waiting in the present. Conclusion. The quiet you can carry anywhere. So here we are. 10 secrets, 10 ancient truths, 10 quiet paths that lead back to you. None of them require a temple or a teacher or a perfect life. They just require presence. Because the truth is, peace isn't rare, it's just quiet. And in a noisy world, quiet things get lost. But they're not gone. Your peace isn't gone. It's just buried under expectations, fears, reactions, and distractions. But it's there, in the breath you slow down to feel, in the grudge you finally let go of, in the moment you choose stillness over speed, in the silence between thoughts. And here's the best part. You don't have to earn peace. You just have to stop resisting it. So the next time life pulls you in 10 directions, the next time the world feels loud and urgent and chaotic, remember this. You can be the calm one. You can be the still one. You can be the peaceful one, not because life got easier, but because you remembered who you are, a quiet mind, a gentle heart, a soul at peace.